Hey, Ag Teacher Thoughts here, coming at you with another video. It is planting day. So yes, it is the day that we finally start getting some of our plant material in the ground. The potting media. They're getting their own house. So today is our first day of planting, other than the emergency stuff that we did when the plants came in. My greenhouse class has changed semesters, so now we have more students in the class, new students in the class, different students in the class. But today was our first day of planting, so this was only their second day in the semester. And right off the bat, we've got them rolling into transplanting our plugs into 4-inch pots. So over here, I'm going to introduce you to our sweet potato vines. So those are our two colors of sweet potato vine for this year. These are Solar Tower Lime and Solar Tower Black, and they are the two varieties that we're carrying this year. I liked them because when I saw them at the test trial, they seemed to be a little bit more vigorous. I think they're a little too vigorous. So these are my starts that I got in just a few weeks ago. These came in at the beginning of January for me. The week of January 8th they came in, and they're 10 inches tall, 12 inches tall on some of these. So this is a really vigorous growing variety. Now I was a little surprised. Sweet potato vine typically doesn't grow much when it's cool. And I'm keeping the greenhouse right now because the weather has been a cold snap. I'm keeping it at a constant 60. I probably can trim that back a couple of degrees to about 56, and that would slow things down. But these are going to have their first pinch here probably next week, and hopefully promote some more growth out from all of the auxiliary buds. Here is the Solar Tower Lime. Again, some of these with the spots, this is just from transport. These are initial leaves. Those will all disappear. This is what they're going to look like when they're fully up and going in the basket. So this is Solar Tower Lime. And these two have similar growth habits, so that's why I chose those. So we had some other stuff. Basically, whatever was really big got moved up out of the plug trays first. And we're starting to get the tags in here. This is Scaevola. Let's see, which variety is this? It says Scaevola Fan Blue, but I'm pretty sure that there is another varietal name for it. I just can't find it on there right now. Then we had our licorice vine. It was time for our licorice vine to get moved up. Some of this didn't like being watered and transported too much. That's okay. It'll perk up. It's a pretty resilient plant. It's due for a pinch already. And then over here we had some of our other things. We're starting to get our Cascadias Indian Summer. That's Cascadias Indian Summer Improved. That there is going. And planting is going a little bit slow for us. So normally in a day or two we can get everything knocked out. But we're having a little bit of an issue. If you're watching this as a new video, you'll know we just went through a cold snap. But if you don't, we just had basically a week and a half of below freezing temperatures. I think here at school it got to minus 13. And it was about the same where we got our potting mix. So normally we get our potting mix right from a nursery distributor. There isn't one in this area. And I contacted the company that produces my chosen potting media, and they could ship it directly to me as long as I bought a full truckload. I don't need a full truckload. That's a lot of potting media. We're nowhere near that right now. We would need probably 10 or 16,000 square feet, and we're at 2,700 basically is what we're going to be at. So it'll be a long time before we could use a full semi. But the issue that we're having is our soil was in sub-zero temperatures. So it's frozen. So we're having to go through and do a screening process. We're coming in here and having to screen out all of the frozen chunks. This makes sure that we have a nice fluffy soil. We're not losing anything. But as we dig into this soil, right there, that is frozen. There is no breaking it up. There's little ice crystals when you look. And it has forced us to have little towers where we're putting the soil out to warm up. It's not ideal, but if we want to plant anytime in the next few weeks, we've got to thaw the soil out. Peat moss is a great insulator, which means it takes a while to freeze, but it also takes just as long to thaw out. So we're getting that going, and we should be wrapping up our planting here hopefully by the end of the week. I'm really kind of excited to get this season going, and I want to get all this stuff in the ground because we have our seedlings that we need to plant. So everything we're doing right now is a cutting, and everything that we're going to do by seed next week needs to start getting in the ground. So that is our next goal after we get this stuff planted, because this is really going to sit for a few weeks. It's going to just sit there and grow before we have to do anything else to it. But there you go. There's the rest of our cuttings that we need to get in the ground. And yes, for those of you in my local community, the greenhouse will be built. I will be working on it again this weekend. We're getting really close. I am actually quite thankful that we didn't have the covering on it during the snow and the ice storm, because without heat, that would have really put that structure at risk. Hopefully another week or two of weekends, and I will have that structure good to go. But that's where we're at. So from the Kendrick Research Lab Greenhouse, Ag Teacher's Thoughts out. I hope you learned something.